Hello everyone, this is part 19 of What If Naruto Was Like Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto, wait. Mei's shouts went on deaf ears as the demon-fueled blonde flew across the open field dead set on Yagura. Yagura's face took on a grin as he saw every step the boy made towards him. Yagura effortlessly blocked the hard right hand from the blonde and held it in his grip. Naruto, despite being fueled by a tale of Kyuubi's chakra, found that Yagura still had no trouble defending against his strength. What? He didn't even move. Is he using the chakra of the Sanbi? Yagura noticed the look of contemplation on Naruto's face. You probably thought I used my own Bijuu's chakra to block that, didn't you? Well, you're wrong. That was all me. Naruto's eyes widened. Yagura drove a knee into Naruto's body, sending his to his own. Even if you are using your demon, I'm still a Keiju brat. With all of that power, as far as I'm concerned, you are still out of your league. Realization was all over Naruto's face as he was crouched on the ground. I must be some kind of idiot. I can't just charge in and smash his face to dust. I need to have a plan. Not only is he a Jinchuriki, he's not Mizukichi for nothing. Mei bailed Naruto out with a series of throws with her shuriken. Yagura was forced to let go and dodge as the projectiles passed over the shorter boy's head at him. Naruto jumped back to Mei's side and turned Kyuubi's chakra down. Okay, that was really stupid. I sure won't be trying that again. Mei kept her eyes on Yagura. I know you're not my ninja, but don't be stupid like that again, okay? Even if you can't match Yagura shot for shot, you are still very important to this fight. Even though he doesn't show it, he's kind of shaken up by you being a Jinchuriki and all. Be ready to back me up when we engage. When I say move, you need to get out of the way, okay? Or else you'll catch some friendly fire. Naruto transmutated his arm blade. Got it, I'll hold back on Kyuubi-chan's chakra for now. There's no need for it yet if he isn't using his own, and I don't think it would matter right now anyway. I have a few new tricks that nobody knows about, so it should be fine. Mei nodded and placed a hand on his shoulder. Now do you think you can keep him on you up close to give me some time to move in myself? He won't see you as a threat, but don't think he won't just kill you. Naruto rolled his right shoulder and sucked his teeth. Yeah, I think so. Hey, I always thought I'd end up being cannon fodder for something like this. I can't say I'm too pleased to be right about it though. Mei let a small smile form on her face. Just don't die in there, Naruto-kun. You're way too cute to die out here. Maybe if we survive this, you can come and see me in a few years and I might have something for you. Naruto's eyes widened as he looked blankly at Mei, who simply winked down at him. Naruto turned his gaze onto Yagura as his pupils refocused. Oh, I can't lose now. It's on. In his head, however, his familiar fox demon had thoughts of her own. That damn hussy, trying to bribe my Naru-kun. I'm the only one he's gonna end up getting something like that from, damn it. Naruto walked out towards Yagura, not turning his eyes away. So I guess you don't think much of me, do you? Yagura turned purple eyes to Naruto. Not especially, honestly. However, what kind of fool would I be if I didn't fight you the right way? After all, Mei certainly wouldn't have called you out here to fight me if she didn't think you were somewhat dangerous. Naruto's walking turned to a brisk pace, and finally to a full-on sprint towards Yagura. Naruto ran in with a flying kick that Yagura just swatted aside. Naruto swung at Yagura with his arm blade, but Yagura simply dodged every stroke cleanly. Naruto shot a kick out at his body as Yagura hopped back. Naruto growled before clapping and placing his hands on the ground, pulling out a spear. Yagura's eyes lit up as he saw the weapon in Naruto's hands. Are you any good with that thing, boy? Naruto tested the spear, turning it around in his hands and gauging its balance. I'm not bad with it. If I could use a sword, I would have pulled that out, so yeah, I'd say I'm decent. Yagura pulled off his cage robes, revealing a short-sleeve fishnet shirt under a black short-sleeve shirt, a green bit of clothing wrapping around his neck and shoulders, black pants with a green sash and another green cloth wrapping around his waist, and brown boots. What was interesting was the staff on his back, a large black staff with two hooks, one larger than the other, on the ends. Yagura pulled the staff from his back. I haven't gotten to use this in quite some time. Give me a good show, won't you? Yagura rushed at Naruto and swept at Naruto's feet with his hooked staff. Naruto jumped away and swung the spear at Yagura. Yagura ducked and thrusted the end of the staff into Naruto's body. Naruto was sent back, exhaling his breath as he flew away. He returned to his feet and ran back in trying to thrust his spear at his foe. Yagura deflected the point away and smashed Naruto in the head with the other end. Naruto dropped to a knee and aimed his spear at Yagura's throat. Yagura hooked the point of the spear and diverted it over his shoulder harmlessly. The Mizukichi kicked Naruto in the face, sending him back and confiscated his weapon. Yagura tossed it aside. I thought you said you were decent. Those skills were terrible, killing you in a scuffle like that wouldn't have been worth remembering at all. Naruto rose to his feet set to fight. He felt a trickle of his own blood flow down his face from where Yagura cracked his with his staff. I'm so sorry that I'm not sporting quarry for a cage. But you won't kill me so easily, I'm kind of persistent. Yagura smiled. Are you now? I like that. Come boy, let's continue. Naruto clapped and placed his hands on the ground, forcing spiked chains to fly at Yagura. Yagura simply batted him away and moved along the lines of the chains to deliver a kick to Naruto's chest. Upon contact, Naruto rolled through and formed another spear, this time to throw. Yagura dodged and saw Naruto running back in with his arm blade drawn back to strike. Instead of a punch, however, Naruto shot out his knee when he got close enough to swing. Yagura, who had ducked what he had thought was going to be an incoming punch, ended up taking a knee to the jaw for his trouble. Naruto was shocked by his own actions. I actually hit him. I just need a cage in the face. Naruto hardened his features, as he knew he probably wouldn't be getting a lucky shot like that again. Well then, I guess I'll follow up, cause this won't be happening again. Naruto hooked a roundhouse kick to the side of Yagura's body and quickly formed two clones to surround the man. The original tossed a kunai that Yagura dodged by moving his head, but this was just a diversion. One clone wrapped his arms around Yagura's waist from behind as a second clone swept Yagura's legs out from under him. The first clone fell backwards and bridged his body to slam Yagura to the ground on the back of his neck. As Yagura was folded over, the original Naruto jumped into the air and landed hard on the back of Yagura's thighs, crumbling the ground under him. Naruto jumped off and looked at his handiwork, Sashinobaru Kesei, javelin formation. Now get up. I know damn well that wasn't enough to put you down for good. Right on cue, Yagura's body turned to water. Naruto heard his clones yelp in pain and he ducked suddenly as Yagura came from behind to swipe at him with his staff. Yagura hooked Naruto's pants and lifted him into the air. Yagura began to swing Naruto above his head rapidly before slamming him into the ground hard and pinning him down with his staff. Naruto coughed up blood as Yagura looked down at him. That combination of yours, I like that. I've never seen anything like that before. Naruto coughed and looked up at Yagura. I like to be spontaneous. Yagura chuckled. So I saw. I'm sorry, but you actually are far too dangerous to leave alive. Maybe with some more experience you would test me, and for that reason you have to die here. Yagura lifted his boot to stomp Naruto's head into the ground when a smile came onto the Konoha nin's face. Clones are so damn awesome. Yagura felt a presence from behind and lifted his staff to block a slash from one of Naruto's clones that had turned his arm into an axe. Yagura exerted much effort holding the surprisingly strong strike back, a cage bunshin. You only had two. I killed them both. The cage bunshin smiled as he tried overpowering Yagura. Boss threw the kunai at you to start his combination. He didn't think he would get you with it, so I was his insurance for that. My henge is impeccable, don't you know? The bunshin looked down and smirked. I don't know why you're worried about me. The real threat's down there. Yagura looked down to see Naruto's right arm turned into some tube-like appendage. Sogeki Sandan, shot sniper. A bang rang out as a metal cartridge came from Naruto's arm. The bullet flew through Yagura and hit Naruto's cage bunshin, dispelling it. Yagura turned into another puddle, revealing him as a Mizu bunshin. As the water drenched Naruto, he jumped to his feet and looked around. You haven't been fighting me from the start, have you? It's always been those bunshin, hasn't it? Yagura walked from the misty trees surrounding the clearing. Very good, child. Those bunshin were 1/10 of my actual strength. You did quite well. Naruto smirked. I'm just full of surprises, believe it. Yagura stood and frowned, but still, you really are too dangerous to be allowed to live. It's a shame, such a talented boy, but I'm afraid I have to kill you now. Naruto's sweat dropped as he fell in his stance. I would say bring it on, but I'm kind of terrified of what you would do if you did. He looked around rapidly for Mei, but she was gone from the field. Naruto cursed under his breath, damn, the thing with the clone was supposed to at least wound him, all it did was take out a clone. A clone. A clone did that to me. Naruto shook his head in resignation. Well, I jumped into this whole situation, it wouldn't do to lose my nerve halfway through now, would it? Naruto made several cage bunshin and they scattered around Yagura at varying distances. The clones furthest away made distance weapons like shuriken and kunai and even throwing spears as the closer clones looked ready to attack at any moment. Yagura looked around, noting the positions of all of the cage bunshin. Yagura flew through a few hand signs, Suten, Sewer Garden, Water Release, Water Fang Bullet. Water from seemingly nowhere destroyed all of Naruto's close-range bunshin. Naruto's jaw dropped. How can you just form water jutsu from the air like that? I can do it, but that's because of my alchemy. Yagura chuckled at Naruto's reaction. Child, when you master your element like I have, you can pull it straight from nothing. Naruto growled, well, pull this straight from nothing. Naruto snapped as his cage bunshin began bombarding Yagura with their tools. Yagura made more hand signs as the weapons flew towards him. Suten, Suijin Heki, Water Release, Water Encampment Wall. The wall of water flew up around him, keeping harm from coming to the Yondai Mizukage. As the wall dropped, Yagura had vanished from sight. As he heard his all of bunshin puff out of existence, something in his head told him Yagura was coming. Naruto dropped and formed a wall behind him just as a water whip lashed into it. Naruto kept his eyes peeled all around him. As he searched the area for Yagura, his sweat creased on his brow. Who are you looking for, child? Naruto turned around to see Yagura grinning at him gleefully. Naruto-kun, move. Naruto jumped out of the way and saw a glowing red blob fly at Yagura. Yagura narrowly escaped just as the blob passed by him and hit the wall behind him. The wall slowly melted as the blob oozed over it. Naruto rubbed his eyes in disbelief. What the was that shit? Do I have a concussion or did that just happen? Mei appeared next to Naruto. That was real, Naruto-kun. That was a jutsu from one of my Kekkei Genkai, Yoten, lava release. Naruto's looked gobsmacked. So you can make lava. That was lava. Naruto pointed at what used to be his wall. Mei giggled. I told you my jutsu might end up with some fratricide. I'm glad you listened immediately and moved. You're too cute to melt. Naruto's sweat dropped. I'm so happy you decided not to melt me. Yagura came into sight clapping his hands. Mei, you're very proficient with your Kekkei Genkai. Of course you know that I have to kill you now because of it. Mei put her hands on her hips. You can't beat us both, Yagura. Even if you're strong enough to beat me, Naruto-kun is far too much of a wild card for you to account for. Yagura stroked his chin in thought. You're right. I guess I should just crush you both and be done with it before it gets a little too troublesome for my tastes. Mei's breath hitched as the atmosphere tightened. Naruto tightened his fists as Yagura's eyes flashed and a purple aura began rolling off of him. So he's finally using it, huh? He's getting serious. Mei nodded. Will you still help me fight him even though he's so powerful? Naruto smiled at her reassuringly. I'm not running from this. I chose to fight. Even a Chunin can kill a cage. He has to fight perfectly if he wants to win this. I won't just leave you here. Naruto slapped his face. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? Naruto's activated his one-tailed form and looked out at Yagura. I can't tell how many tails he's trying to use. He doesn't have an indicator like I do. Naruto shrugged. Oh well, guess I'm winging it. Don't hit me with any lava, please. I kind of don't want to die by melting. Naruto flashed out of place and appeared next to Yagura, launching a punch. Yagura blocked as Naruto continued throwing a barrage of punches at him. Yagura swatted Naruto away with his staff in response. Naruto looked back at Mei. I'm kind of confused. If Yagura is the reason the bloodline purges are happening, shouldn't he be more, I don't know, evil? He seems like he wouldn't be so bad if he wasn't trying to kill me. Mei nodded. Yagura actually is a kind person. But something in him snapped. He actually believes that this is the right thing to do. His personality never really changed, even through all of the bloodshed. Naruto looked at him, flexing his fingers in anticipation. Great, so he's crazy, right? Mei shook her head. I'm not really sure. But we have to do this, good person or not, this has gone on for long enough. Naruto conjured Kage Bunshin and sent him out into the forest surrounding the field before rushing Yagura once more. Naruto's swings with his arm blade were blocked by Yagura's staff. You're far faster and stronger now, child. But you are still no match for me. You came here 10 years too soon to match me. Naruto chuckled in a gravely voice. Maybe, but in 10 years this would have been overkill for you. Yagura flung Naruto back off of him. When he rushed in once more, Yagura grabbed him with his chakra and slammed him into the ground. Naruto again ended up coughing blood, so that's where his tail was, I was wondering. Yagura looked down impassively. Like I said, too soon. Then how about me? Mei appeared from the ground behind Yagura and smashed him away from Naruto before calling out a jutsu, Doton, Ganchuso, Earth Release, Rock Pillar Spear. Yagura ended up being skewered with a series of sharp points coming from the ground under him. Instead of shouting in pain, Yagura just smirked. That was very good, Mei. Using the boy as a close-range decoy to keep me occupied like that. I focused on his because, like you said, he is a wild card in all of this. All you had to do was wait for your shots. Mei looked shocked. The impaled Mizukage was simply speaking as if there weren't spikes going through his body. Naruto scoffed. It isn't really that easy to take out a Jinchuriki, Mei-chan. If you want to kill one of us, you kind of have to go way overboard with it, and then you have to lop off our heads to make sure we're dead. Mei looked at the glowing boy in shock. Are you serious? There's no way. Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Actually, I don't know. I'm only speaking from personal experience, and even then it's kind of hyperbole. But I do know that that isn't enough to finish this. Yagura pulled himself from the spikes, ignoring the blood loss from his torso. He's right, you know. We're just getting started with our little battle. Naruto slapped his hand to his forehead as he saw Yagura gain another chakra tail from his body. This is ridiculous. XXX. Ao was leading a squad of his own ninja through the forests until he found himself being smothered by an oppressive force. As he looked around, he saw that he wasn't the only one affected. This pressure, it's overwhelming. Are Naruto and Terumi-sama actually fighting that? Chojiro spoke up. Ao-san, what do we do? That isn't coming from very far away. Ao growled and looked around. We keep moving and stay with the plan. If Mei-sama can't win against it, then what chance would we have? Let her and Naruto deal with Yagura. We should keep occupying his forces until we're given the signal to disengage. The group nodded and pressed onwards. XXX. Of all the bullshit situations I have to deal with. Naruto and Mei looked on as Yagura's form began to change. After he formed his third chakra tail, his entire body began to change. His shirt ripped off of his upper body as his body began to expand and harden, forming a shell on his back. His skin changed to a gray color and took on a rougher appearance. The three tails became tangible and shelled like his back. His lower jaw jutted out over his upper jaw as his teeth sharpened. Even his hair hardened to the same density as his shell. Naruto growled in anger. This is some old bullshit. I don't look that cool when I try to use three tails. I just go batshit crazy and poison people. Look at him, he grew to like 15 feet high. Mei tensed up upon seeing Yagura transform. This is the full power of a Jinchuriki. Naruto shook his head. No, this is the power of this Jinchuriki. I can go just as high as him. I just don't like doing it. Mei looked at Yagura in awe. Why wouldn't you feel like it? Such power, I can't see much of a detriment to being so strong. Naruto started pulling more of Kyuubi's chakra into himself. Grr, well, there are quite a few if I could explain. Mei began to pay attention to Naruto more. When I draw more than one tail of Kyuubi-chan's chakra, I take on some effects. Naruto crouched on all fours on the ground. First of all, this feels more comfortable than just standing. As he spoke, the second tail manifested itself in his chakra shroud. I used to find it hard to control my bloodlust and desire to fight, but working with it let me get over that much. If I draw any more, however, I will get pretty feral in nature. Naruto shut his eyes. But I have to. I can't afford to hold back here. The air around Mei began to tingle. Slowly the tingle turned to burning. She looked at Naruto, who was gritting his sharpened teeth as his eyes glowed red. His chakra tails whipped around rapidly. Mei-chan, move, now. Mei listened as she got away from Naruto. As she put distance between them, the burning stopped as she realized it was coming from him in the first place. What kind of power can burn others just by being around it? Naruto clawed at the dirt under him as he looked out at Yagura's transformed state. I doubt he can even talk anymore, not like I'll be very conversational in this form anyway. Let's hurry this up before it starts hurting me. Naruto cried out as he began launching himself at Yagura in an animalistic rush. Naruto appeared right in front of him and began clawing at his enemy. Yagura blocked with his arms as Naruto's claws didn't even scratch the surface of his skin. Yagura sent out his tails to force the feral boy off of him, but Naruto began dueling him with the 3 tails of his own. As the tails flailed about, Naruto cracked Yagura in the face with a hard right hand. Yagura looked as if he had barely registered the attack and grabbed the boy before headbutting him and sending him back. Naruto rose to his feet, snarling as he took in a sharp inhale of air. At the height of his intake, the insides of his mouth were glowing through his teeth. Onijutsu, Kitsune Hakuten, Demon Technique, Fox Flash. Instead of the moderate-sized beam from the forest, a blast the size of Naruto and a half came from the boy's maw. The blast flew across the field before colliding with Yagura in a huge explosion. Mei looked at the technique as a smile came to her face. That attack was so powerful and Yagura took it head on, that had to do it. The smoke from the blast cleared to reveal Yagura crossing his arms in defense. Upon closer examination, there revealed to be barely even a scuff mark on him. Naruto growled at the lack of damage from his destructive new jutsu. Mei shook her head. His entire body, he is the 3-tailed turtle. There isn't anything that can get through that armor, not even an attack like Naruto-kun's. Naruto felt the need to rush back in and continue his onslaught before a voice of reason rang out in his head. Naruto-kun, stop now. Naruto stopped just as he was about to begin moving towards Yagura to listen to the source of his power. Don't worry, he won't move unless you're close. The Sanbi never really did like chasing down its enemies. You did well. That would have hurt anyone or anything else, but that natural armor defense is too much for even your new jutsu. Even your Rasengan wouldn't smash through it. Naruto's face read as one of annoyance. All of the effort into learning a new move in time for the battle, and it was neutralized after the first use. Kyuubi could sense his frustration. There has to be something you can do to punch through that shell of his. I think you might have to go up to another tail to fight him. Naruto inhaled a breath sharply. He could see Kyuubi giving him an apologetic look in his head. I know you aren't old enough to safely handle that much power, but there isn't much other choice. What's worse, lose yourself for the time being to overpower Yagura, or die here and keep your sanity and humanity. Naruto gave a gravely chuckle as Kyuubi shook her head. I see. You're too chivalrous for your own good, you know. Naruto growled out a sentence. No, extra, tail. Don't need it. Can still win. Mei appeared near Naruto. I can't keep letting you fight him head on alone like this, Naruto-kun. From here on out I'm with you. Naruto gave her a fanged smile. Before turning back to Yagura, armor, too tough. Can't break through. Yagura looked at the duo before batting his 3 tails in the direction. Nothing happened at first, confusing the two. Mei looked around. What did that do? Nothing's happening. Naruto's senses went off moments later as he whipped his head around before shouting, move now. As he spoke, an endless torrent of water came crashing over the tops of the cliffs surrounding the field. The water kept filing in, eventually filling the valley almost to the brim, making what was a forest area surrounding a clearing an artificial lake. Mei and Naruto appeared standing atop the surface of the water. Mei's eyes scanned all across the new battlefield. This is bad. This is very bad. It was difficult enough on land. Fighting him in the water is tantamount to suicide. Naruto growled as he kept his own eyes peeled. Kyuubi voiced her thoughts to the boy. This is as bad as it can get now, Naruto-kun. At least on land you could outmaneuver him. Now he can hide anywhere, attack from anywhere, and he still has a defense you can't penetrate. Naruto spit in anger. No, shit. Naruto was cut off as he was grabbed by a tail and pulled underwater. Naruto writhed under the surface as he was pulled deeper by Yagura's tail. Naruto clawed at Yagura's tail to free himself from the fully transformed Jinchuriki's grip before hightailing it to the surface at top speed. Naruto gasped as he pulled himself to the surface and stood atop the water next to Mei. Mei looked at the drenched boy before the senses of both kicked in as they leapt apart. Mei shouted out across the gigantic mass that Yagura transformed to, "Naruto-kun. Don't come back over here. Both of us together is far too easy of a target for him." Yagura had seemingly grown in size since the water had come into the equation. Instead of being roughly 15 feet high, he had doubled in size. How in the hell are we supposed to fight this thing? With a swipe of his tail, Yagura sent a rush of water at Mei, sending her flying backwards. As she flew, she was caught by Naruto, who put her down and rushed back into the fight with Yagura's monstrous form. Mei looked as Naruto leapt into the fray with the monster, seeing that she was caught by a cage bunshin as the form of the massive turtle was being swarmed by an army of Narutos. Despite the numbers of assailants, it really did appear that taking the battle to the water had changed the complexion of the fight altogether. When before, Yagura sat and waited to be attacked before responding, even before using the chakra of the Sanbi, he now had no qualms about being the aggressor in combat. Swatting the clones away with tails up close, grabbing and smashing them with his hands, even sending powerful water attacks to crush them from afar, Yagura was dissecting Naruto's replications by the masses and shrugging off his attacks. Mei ran atop the water to re-engage in the fray. Yagura just continued dispatching the cage bunshin as Mei made her move, Futon, Komu no Jutsu, boil release, skilled mist technique. Mei opened her mouth as a haze came forth, drifting towards Yagura and the clones. Mei looked on in concern. I really hope the real Naruto isn't in there. As the cloud of vapors crept onto Yagura's frame, the clones around him began to dispel. The real Naruto actually had been off in the distance waiting for any ideas from Kyuubi on how to deal with the change of events in the fight when she saw through Naruto's eyes the effect of Mei's jutsu. Wait a minute. Yagura began to cry out in pain as his body began to hiss and smoke began coming from his body. Parts of his body began boiling over and being eaten through. Kyuubi was struck by realization. Naruto-kun. That woman's jutsu, it's eating through Yagura's tough skin and outer shell. It's weakening his body. Try your attack now. Naruto inhaled deeply, once again forcing the red light to permeate from his mouth. Onijutsu, Kitsune Hakuten, demon technique, Fox Flash. Naruto fired the attack as it ripped across the top of the water and exploded on Yagura's body. Yagura cried out in pain as the attack actually injured him this time around. Instead of allowing them to follow up on their attacks, Yagura dove under the water in an attempt to wash off the corrosive substance on his body. Kyuubi kept barking marching orders at her container as Yagura disappeared. Kit, you need to get that Mei woman to use that attack on Yagura again. I don't care what you have to do to keep him occupied long enough for her to use it. It's your only chance to allow your heavy attacks to get through. Naruto nodded as she finished her explanation. Running over to Mei, he began explaining the situation as best he could. Mei-chan, we need that attack again. It made him weak. My attacks can get through. Soften him up. Mei's eyes sparkled as they had found something that finally seemed able to harm him. She smirked at the realization of how to win, but her thoughts of victory slid to a halt as she saw Naruto spit blood from his mouth. Naruto-kun, are you alright? Naruto wiped his lip and nodded. This much of Kyuubi-chan's chakra, it hurts after a while. Mei looked at the blood in the water. How many times can you use that attack of yours? Naruto gave her a bloody smile. As much as I need to. He was brought from his bluff by a coughing fit as trickles of blood flew from his mouth. Mei bit her lip nervously. He's putting on a brave face, but his body is reaching its limit. If he goes down, I don't think I have a jutsu destructive enough to use here to take Yagura down. Lava is useless on the water, and trying to melt him would take too much chakra, more than I have to spare. He'd keep diving under the water to rinse himself off. Naruto regained his composure. I'll hold him somehow. Get the jutsu ready, don't miss. Naruto finished just in time for Yagura to resurface, aiming his tails for Mei. Naruto shoved her roughly out of the way as he ended up getting slapped by the tails of the turtle demon. He rolled through and went through hand signs, Suten, Suryuden no Jutsu, Water Release, Water Dragon Jutsu. A dragon rose up at Naruto's feet and collided with Yagura's body. Naruto scoffed as Yagura simply shook off the blow and kept on Naruto, who was dodging narrowly. Only really big stuff hurts him, bastard. Naruto looked down at his right hand as he began to form the Rasengan, only it took on a warped appearance. Instead of the regular blue color, a red shell encased it, forcing it to take on a vermilion coloring. Naruto looked up at Yagura, who was streaming across the water at a high speed. Naruto sighed and charged at the massive form of Yagura, thrusting his hand out to utilize the Rasengan. As the two were about to collide, Yagura snatched the boy up with his tail, forcing him to let go of the jutsu. Before anything else could befall Konoha's Jinchuriki, he was saved by lava falling on top of Yagura's elongated tail. Yagura cried out in pain again as he dropped Naruto to submerge the tail in the water. Naruto landed on the surface and reformed the Rasengan before thrusting it into another of Yagura's tail. The jutsu ended up grinding through Yagura's tail thoroughly. Kyuubi cheered inside of Naruto's head. He lost a tail. That should have weakened him. At the very least he should be horribly off-balanced. Call her now, Kit. Mei-chan hit him now. Mei nodded as she formed her seal, Futon, Komu no Jutsu, boil release, skilled mist technique. Yagura found himself surprisingly buoyant due to the loss of one tail and the injury to another, making it so that he couldn't dive to escape the jutsu or slip away to get out of range. As the cloud descended on him, a cry of agony rang out through the area for miles around. Yagura began furiously splashing himself with his arms and his tails, but could not negate the corrosive properties of Mei's jutsu. The tough outer shell of Yagura began looking raw and irritated as he began bleeding from certain parts of his body. He was concerned with ridding himself of Mei's acidic jutsu, therefore he never sensed Naruto charging up for one last attack next to her. I can only throw this at him one more time. My body is too stressed for another attempt. Naruto sucked in air one last time and ignored the choking and the blood building up in his throat as he gathered Kyuubi's chakra, Onijutsu, Kitsune Hakuten, Demon Technique, Fox Flash. Naruto let fly with his final attack. As the red beam of demonic energy collided with Yagura's body, it struggled for a moment, but with him being sufficiently softened up by the acid, it punched a hole right through his torso. As Yagura's eyes glazed over, a purple haze surrounded him once more as he returned to his normal form. With one exhale of breath, he fell backwards on top of the water, floating motionless. Naruto and Mei stood observing the scene for a moment, just in case it wasn't him, just in case they didn't finish him with their last flurry of offense. After standing still for minutes, Naruto sighed and released Kyuubi's chakra, reverting to his normal state. The two stood in silence on the surface of the water, no more tumultuous waves crashing about, no noises of battle, just silence. After a prolonged period of no movement or sound, a tear slipped from Mei's eye. I'm sorry, Yagura. It had to come to this. Naruto dropped to one knee on the water. Hey, who's your hero? With that said, Naruto collapsed face down in the water. Naruto woke in a hospital room. Sighing as he seemingly could never escape the eternal whiteness of the hospital, he sat up and rubbed his eyes. After the battle with Yagura had ended, she had signaled all of her rebels to fall back to the meeting spot. Upon seeing Yagura's dead body, the ninja under his command basically surrendered on the spot, under the thought that anyone that could take out Yagura they wouldn't have a snowball's chance in hell against. With the bulk of the enemy forces converted to the rebels' side by way of might makes right, they proceeded to march straight into Kirigakure itself with little to no conflict. Mei and her trusted elites proceeded to get rid of all of Yagura's like-minded confidants and solidified Kiri under their rule. There were still some die-hard anti-bloodline combatants around the country, but in such a small number they were nothing more than a troublesome faction that could wait to be finished off when things settled down. After taking Kiri, they had put Naruto in the hospital to heal. That was 3 days ago. Naruto pulled the monitoring equipment off of him and pulled the IV out of his arm. As he held his head, he stood and dressed himself. Well, we obviously won, or I'd be dead or in prison right now, so where is everybody? Naruto shook his head and opened his window before springing out to explore the city. XXX. Heading out, he immediately saw the building with the symbol for Mizu no Kuni and began heading towards it. He was stopped by a little black-haired girl running to him, pointing at his arm. Uzumaki-sama, Uzumaki-sama. Naruto recoiled in shock. Uzumaki-sama. What the hell? Naruto kneeled down to her level to look into her eyes. Hey, what's wrong? Do you need my help? The little girl shook her head negatively before giving him bright smile. Your arm? You must be the one my mommy and daddy talk about. The one that made it okay for us to come here. Naruto looked at her sheepishly. I guess, sir, it wasn't much of a big deal. It was the right thing to do. The girl gave Naruto a hug. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be a ninja just like you someday. I want to save people too. I can do this already. Watch. Naruto watched as the girl focused and scales formed on her arms. Naruto felt her arms and noticed how tough the plates were. Naruto smiled at her as she deactivated it. It's not anywhere near as good as mommy's or daddy's, but I'll be strong just like you one day. Naruto put his hand on her head, with an attitude like that. I'm sure you will be. What's your name so I can keep tabs on you? She stepped back. I'm Remy. Naruto chuckled. Take care of yourself, Remy-chan. He watched the girl run off as he turned to continue along his way. Cute kid. As he walked, he noticed people giving him looks and whispering about him. These were different than the ones he was used to in Konoha. Here in Kiri they seemed in awe of him instead of just hating him. Naruto focused his ears to hear some of the conversations he was passing. That's Naruto Uzumaki, the one that helped kill Yagura. Konoha must be lucky to have the Fullmetal Alchemist with them. I'm glad he was on our side. Those whisker things make Uzumaki-sama look cute. Naruto was in a haze as he made his way to Kiri's Mizukage Tower. In his own village he had to beat the best ninja his age and save the entire place from a rampaging demon host all in one day just to get people to stop slighting him in public. Hell, he even prevented the final tie to their most vaunted bloodline from defecting. Here in a place he hadn't even walked around in until right then, all he had to do was assist in a major battle, although truthfully he did the lion's share of the work and took the most of the beating, to get recognition. He shook his head as he came to the tower. Well, I don't know if I should be happy about how I'm treated in Kiri or pissed about Konoha's views on me and how the majority still sees me as a waste of life. As he entered the tower, the guards gave him nods of respect that he returned with a smile. Putting his thoughts on the back burner, he had to admit it felt damn good to get credit for things like this. As he walked to the doors of the main office, he noticed that she mustn't have hired an attendant yet. Naruto knocked on the door, receiving an enter for his action. Naruto walked in to see Mei in the customary robes of the Mizukage. Mei smiled at him as he sat down on the couch in the office. Naruto chuckled as he looked over the room. So I see you've forgone wearing the hat. Mei's mouth twitched in humor. That eyesore messes up my hair. How are you feeling, Naruto-kun? You were out for quite a while after the fight. Naruto flexed his arm. I'm great, Mei-chan. I can't even feel it today. Almost like I never fought him. I'm good like that. Mei nodded and crossed her hands under her chin. Thank you for your help, Naruto-kun. If it weren't for you, who knows how much longer this would have gone on for, or how many more lives would have been lost. Naruto waved her off. It's alright, I thought it was the right thing to do. Yagura was doing terrible things. What kind of man would I be in a position to help and do nothing? Mei nodded. Best not to tell him what Ao found about Yagura's corpse then, who knows how he would take it. After the battle, Ao made an observation that a very faint signature was influencing Yagura's thoughts. It didn't change his personality, but it did make subliminal suggestions, explaining how a good man like Yagura could commit such atrocities. His mental defenses were worn down over a period of time lasting years, until he finally truly believed that what he was doing was for the greater good. No one could determine the source, but it was clear that no one currently in Kirigakure could have done such. Mei sighed as she looked out over Kiri. Well, anyway, what can I do for the hero of our country? Naruto smiled and scratched his head. Well, you remember how I wanted to go to Izu no Kuni. Can you take me now? Or at least point me in the right direction? Mei blinked. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Of course I can get someone to take you over to Izu no Kuni and then back to the mainland. For all of your help, it's the least I can do. Naruto jumped up and pumped his fist in the air. Oh yeah. Finally, I'm gonna find out about my family. Mei frowned when she looked at him so excited. Please don't get too worked up, Naruto-kun. I told you, Izu no Kuni was basically eradicated almost 20 years ago. No one has settled since, and I don't know what you would find, if anything. Naruto calmed down and gave her a serious look. Whether I find anything or not isn't really a big deal to me here. It's the fact that this is as close as I've ever been to learning anything about my heritage. I didn't even know I might have had one before I came here. He softened into a smile. Just the chance to find something out is almost a dream to me. Naruto decided to change gears in the conversation. Enough about me and my trials and tribulations. How are things going? Did you send out a report to the rest of the 5 great nations to tell them the civil war is over? May grinned. Yes, I did. The first thing I did when we got here was release the information that the rebellion was successful and we are currently settling back down. We gave a detailed explanation on the reasons for the rebellion and the report on the final battle against Yagura. Naruto nodded before freezing in place. Wait, you're telling me you released it to all of the Big Five? Every major hidden village. Konoha, Suna, Kumo, and Iwa. May nodded before her eyes widened in understanding. Oh. XXX. Konohagakure, Hokage Tower. What? Sakura and Shizune cowered in front of Tsunade as she stood at her desk gripping a series of reports from Kirigakure. Shizune was the braver of the two, being somewhat used to it, and spoke up. What is the problem, Tsunade-sama? Is there bad news coming from Kiri? Tsunade sat back down with a strained smile and a tick mark on her head. It depends on your point of view. Tsunade turned the reports over to Shizune and Sakura, who perused its comments as their jaws slowly dropped. Tsunade saw their change in facial expression. Yeah, exactly. Sakura snapped out of it first. It's really him. Our Naruto. That Fullmetal alchemist. Shizune grabbed her head and sat down. Well, do you know anyone else with a metal arm and alchemy? Tsunade gripped the desk hard enough to leave cracks. What the hell is Jiraiya doing with him? Shizune shook her head in disbelief. Fighting cages and ending wars. That's our Naruto. Naruto-kun what? As they turned to the sound of the voice, they saw Kurenai leading Team 8 inside for a mission. Tsunade, knowing about Naruto and Hinata's budding little relationship, motioned for her to come and read the information with a smirk on her face. As Hinata read the report, her eyes widened in amazement. NN Naruto-kun. Oh my. Hinata fainted at the foot of the desk. Kiba walked over to try and awaken her. Wow, what did she read? Is he dead or something? Sakura shook her head with a small smile. Kakashi-sensei and Sasuke-kun are going to flip out when I tell them about this one. That's our knucklehead. XXX. Sunagakure, Kazekage Mansion. As the children of the previous Kazekage, the Suna siblings were quite used to being in the loop when it came to things widely known in the elemental nations. They were kept more up to date than ever by the fact that they were helping out the village by going over foreign reports. So they all sat in the main living area, Temari reading over the foreign reports, Kankuro not reading over foreign reports, just tinkering with his puppets, and Gaara doing Gaara stuff. Temari's eyes widened slightly as she read something in the reports for Kiri. She reread again and again to make sure she didn't miss something. Wow, really? Kankuro grunted as if asking a question, and Gaara turned his eyes to his sister, who had been looking over those reports for quite a while. Temari, what is it? Temari quirked her eyebrows. Well, Kirigakure ended their civil war, the Bloodlines won. Kankuro scoffed. Good, what a stupid war. You'd think a nation would like their Kekai Genkai, not try to kill them all. Good riddance. Gaara nodded in agreement as he saw a smile slip onto Temari's face. She turned to look at her brothers with mirth in her eyes. Well, if you like that, then you'll just love to hear who it is that apparently ended it all. XXX. Awagakure, Tsuchikage's office. Ryotenbun no Onoki of both scales, had been angered very much in his life. He was angered when his forces were unable to prevent the destruction of Kanobi Bridge. He was angry when his attempted assassination attempts on then Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi ended with him sending back the Hatei Attis of his men with a message saying, "Is this your shit?" He was downright enraged when he'd heard that the bulk of his invasion force had been slaughtered by one man the moment they had gotten within 2 days' distance of Konohagakure. The point is, while he wasn't nearly as angry now as he was then, he was still pretty pissed off. He dropped the papers on his desk, having just read the reports from Kiri. He rubbed his temple with one hand. Damn that boy, far worse than that damn Kiroi Senku was at his age. The bastard at least didn't even get named until he was an adult, let alone kill a Kage. After hitting the intercom on his desk, he only had to wait a moment for response. Yes, Tsuchikage-sama. What can I do for you? The eldest Kage of the elemental nations almost growled out his answer. Tell me, has Akiza Tamagawa returned from the attempted assassination on Fullmetal, or did he kill her? After a moment the secretary responded, he didn't kill her, Tsuchikage-sama, he heavily injured her and left her where she laid. She sent us a messenger hawk when she found a place to heal. She will return when she regains full mobility. Onoki hit the receiver once more. Prepare a message for her if you would. Tell her not to bother coming back, tell her to find and kill Fullmetal once more without fail, make sure he's dead. And if she is unable to defeat him for a second time, she might as well not even bother to return until she does kill him. The secretary paused to write out the message. Of course, sir, we're sending it as we speak. Onoki smirked. Tell her that his last known sighting was in Mizuno Kuni. XXX. Otogaku, unknown area. Orochimaru was forced to switch bodies after his Sound 4 forces were unable to procure Sasuke Uchiha for his body-switching jutsu in time. After Joshiro's final technique removed his arms, and from the beating that he had taken back when he sought out Tsunade, he had been forced to make the switch very soon, thus he jumped the gun and sent them after the last Uchiha before he was truly ready, or was it too late? He wondered if it was too late because had Naruto Uzumaki not caught onto the chase during his return from his mission, Sasuke would have escaped for sure. The events of the incident were recorded by Kabuto, whom he had sent to the border to meet Sasuke and spirit him away to one of Oto's hidden bases. Truthfully, Naruto and Sasuke were close enough to the border by the end of their battle that if he had arrived quicker he may have been able to finish off Naruto himself and still retrieve Sasuke. This failed, however, because just as he had seen the two, Sasuke in a crater, and Naruto standing over him, Kakashi Hatake and Joshiro Moyomoto arrived to return them both to Konoha. And Sir Orochimaru's plans had from that point been blown to hell. Taking a new body immediately upon hearing this news, he had also learned that in the 2 months since the failed retrieval of his ideal vessel he had not sensed a peep from Sasuke's cursed seal, and unlike Anko's it had been sealed to a well enough extent before it truly set in that it really wouldn't affect Sasuke in any way unless he willed it, and if the 2 months in question were any indication that wasn't happening again anytime soon. Kabuto entered Orochimaru's room, glasses glinting in the dull light. You seem to be assimilating to the new body very well, Orochimaru-sama. Orochimaru's eyes flickered in rage for a moment. Yes, it is a shame however that my Uchiha was not able to arrive. Tell me, could we attempt to procure him now, Kabuto? Kabuto shifted his glasses. That wouldn't be the wisest course of action, Orochimaru-sama. After the invasion and the fact that the Sound 4 were able to slip in without alerting anyone, Konoha stepped up the defenses. Not even a bluebird could get into there without 6 people being right on top of it anymore. Orochimaru gripped the armrest of his chair tightly. Damn the QB brat, I swear I will make him suffer for this. That piece of trash has thwarted my plans twice now. Kabuto stood in place as a grin came on his face. You know he's become quite the celebrity in Kirigaku, the Jinchuriki Slayer, they call him now. Apparently, Fullmetal Alchemist isn't enough anymore. I like that better than the other one, however. Originals are best after all. Orochimaru chuckled to himself. Tell me, would it be possible to send him a little congratulations gift? Kabuto turned to leave the room. I'm sure that can be arranged. I'll make sure Naruto-kun will enjoy it. XXX. Kirigaku, Mizukage's tower. Mei blinked before smiling apologetically. Whoops. Sorry, Naruto-kun. Naruto gnashed his teeth together. That is just great. Let's make the bullseye painted on my back a little bigger, why don't we? Ero Sennin is going to be pissed when he finds me. Naruto sighed out loud and gave her a half-lidded look. I really don't need any attention like that, but whatever. Don't worry about it, it's too late now. All I have to do is survive for about 4 more months and I should be fine. Mei bit her lip. Do you still need a ride to Izu no Kuni? A big ship won't make it through, but I'm sure I can get you a smaller vessel strong enough to get to the shore. Naruto stroked his chin. A small boat? Ugh, not my idea of safe. Floating aimlessly in the ocean looking for an island surrounded by whirlpools. Naruto tilted his head in a contemplative manner. Actually, I think I have my own way to get across the ocean. Naruto reached into his vest pocket and pulled out his world map. If you could just give me accurate coordinates, then I can get there myself. No offense, but moving with a group of people would make it harder for me to fall off of the grid after my little side trip. I'm gonna need to vanish in a hurry after this is all said and done. Mei looked like she wanted to object by saying it would be safer if she could send someone with him, but she relented. He probably had his own reasons for wanting to keep low profile, and besides that, how could she tell the guy that just helped her kill the last Mizukage in a full-scale fight that she thought it was too dangerous to let him move about alone? A sharp look from Naruto thoroughly quelled that line of thought. She nodded as she took his map from him and began to mark it. Ozu no Kuni is roughly 14 hours away from the eastern side of the country by boat. I don't know how you plan on getting there, sir. I don't know how long it will take you. Naruto nodded as he took the map back from her. Cool, anything I should know? Mei just shrugged. No one really knows. All I can tell you is that the entire island is surrounded by massive whirlpools, no weak spots. Other than that, nobody is alive that can tell you anything else. Naruto grunted. Meh, guess I'm just flying by the seat of my pants again, right? My specialty. Mei giggled. Well, feel free to stay here as long as you like to prepare the next leg of your journey. I can make sure you have a hotel room. Naruto Uzumaki will always be welcome in Kirigakure. Naruto grinned widely. Thank you, Mei-chan, I appreciate it. XXX. Naruto stayed in Kirigakure for 3 more days before setting out for the coast. He was accompanied to the edge of the misty woods by Ao, who stopped him as they exited. Hey Naruto. The boy in question turned to the man who fished for something in his pocket. Mizukage-sama told me to give you something before you dropped off of the face of the planet for Kami knows how long. Naruto looked on inquisitively as Ao pulled out a sealed manila folder. What is this? Ao shrugged. Hell if I know, kid. I'm just the messenger here. Ao turned and waved at Naruto over his shoulder. I'll see you around, kid. Thanks for everything. Don't go and die on us anytime soon now after the crap you pulled in this country. Naruto smirked and waved back as the man vanished back into the mist. Naruto pocketed the folder and headed to the coast, opting to keep the contents of the folder secret until he was well on his way to Ozu no Kuni. XXX. After a few hours of traveling, he made it to the sea. He didn't bother stopping at some random port, he simply headed to the beach. No one needed to ever know how he left the country. Naruto rubbed his hands together. Okay, I hope I get a good one. Naruto bit his thumb and made his hand signs. Kuchio's no jutsu, summoning jutsu. In a puff of smoke, a small red toad with a little jacket on appeared. Hey there. Hey, are you that Naruto kid that my dad was talking about? Naruto shrugged. Well, I've only summoned one toad, so I guess your dad is Gamabunta because he's the only one of you guys that's seen me since I signed the contract. Yeah, I'm Naruto, what's up? The little toad put out a webbed hand. Dad told us all about you, how you goaded him into fighting that giant sand tanuki. I thought that was hilarious. I'm Gamakichi, by the way, nice to meet, Char. Naruto smiled as he shook his diminutive summon creature's hand. Awesome. Hey, since you're here, can you tell me which toad I could summon if I wanted to get somewhere across the ocean? Gamakichi thought for a moment. Yeah. I think if you summon a toad named Gamakoyo, you can cross. Naruto let out a small victory cheer. Okay then, you're my random hero of the day, Gamakichi. Gamakichi dragged one of his feet in the sand. Well, if you're that grateful, then can I have some candy? Naruto stared for a moment before a grin spread on his face. Well, if you can help me out every time I summon you, will give you something every time. Naruto fished in his pack before pulling out a chocolate bar. Hey, ninja or not, he's still a 13-year-old kid. After handing the bar to Gamakichi, he bit his thumb again to summon Kuchio's no jutsu, Gamakoyo. This time, however, the puff of smoke revealed a larger toad, roughly the size of a small yacht. As the frog faced Naruto, he stared for a minute. Hey there, kid. I assumed seeing as there isn't anyone around, you were the one that summoned me. What do you need? Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Well, if it isn't too much trouble, could you give me a lift to an island a few hours away? The toad looked out at the ocean before wading into the water. Come on then, kid, let's get going. Naruto grinned and hopped on. As he settled in a decent spot to sit, Gamakichi sat on his shoulder. Hey Gamakichi, you still here? Gamakichi nodded. You seem like a decent guy. I think I might hang around for a while. Naruto shrugged. You're free to do what you want. I'm sure me and Gamakoyo could use some company for a bit. With that, Gamakoyo set out with the boy and the smaller toad as passengers. XXX. As the toad got further from shore, a figure from the woods stood out on the beach formerly populated by Naruto. A familiar tanned girl stepped onto the sand, looking out onto the horizon. The ponytail with the 2 bangs framing her face and the forest green eyes were the same, but her outfit had changed. In addition to just the beige vest on her chest, she had on a black skirt with silver patterning in the shape of a dragon. The girl clutched the message from the Tsuchikage in her hand, crumbling it before tossing it into the water. I'm coming for you, Fullmetal. To hell with capturing you this time. I have explicit orders to kill. You'll never get me like in Resemble again. I hope you're ready. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.